Alright, welcome back to another episode of Manor Lords, where I will be playing as Ditz, the Mountain King, on the High Peaks map. Not the Mountain Pass map, which I had been mistakenly calling it for several episodes, but the High Peaks map that was made available with the, I think it was January update. We haven't quite gotten to the point of the upcoming summer 2025 update yet. That's supposed to add a bunch of new stuff, including stone castles, and the AI is actually building villages on the map. I would like to hopefully get this playthrough finished before that happens, because I have a suspicion that will probably break existing saves. So hopefully we can power through and get these last few regions of the map settled before the end of the summer. So in this episode, I am hoping to take one or both of Hildebolt's regions. At the end of the last episode, I had tried rearranging all of my workers and livestock so that they would all live closer to where they work. This was intended to cut down on travel time and hopefully make both Earlhardt and Leineck a little more efficient. I probably should have done that a lot earlier in this playthrough, but I just never felt like my population was properly balanced, and so I kept just putting it off. So from now on, I will be focusing on building new housing near workplaces with open jobs, and to make an effort to assign the new villagers to those nearby jobs in order to keep things nice and tidy and efficient. I also noticed that the game may have solved some of my livestock woes. I think this used to be a mule, and I think reassigning that mule to a pack station actually caused that mule to move to one of the pack stations, and it eventually got replaced by a horse, and I don't think I can replace the horse, even though the horse is supposed to be working at the trade station down here. But I wonder if it is possible to move where livestock is by changing their jobs. At the very least, it does look like mules can change where they live, so I wonder if there's a way to get oxen or horses to move from one stable to another hitching post or stable. But anyway, I did a bunch of unplanned agricultural expansion earlier in the previous episode, all over here. That was out of a necessity for more food. Now I want to do one final bit of agricultural expansion that I was planning on doing along with the previous farm expansions, but I didn't do it earlier because I ended up having to do that ahead of schedule, and I didn't have the manpower to do the other things that I wanted to do. But I should have the necessary manpower coming up soon, so I want to create a pasture for sheep in order to get wool for more advanced types of clothing, and maybe for food too. I'm not sure if the sheep can be slaughtered for food. I know the game also has lambs. I don't know if you can turn those into lamb chops or not, or if they're just harvested for wool, but I guess we will find out. And I think I'm going to put my pasture over here by the base of the hill, by the central town square. It's not flat. In fact, it's pretty steep. But I don't think that a pasture needs to be on flat land. In fact, I don't think the farms in this game need to be on flat land either. In fact, if I bring up the fertility display, like you can see that it's perfectly fertile on steep hills, both over here and over here. So I don't know if it's realistic to be building medieval farms on hills, on hill slopes, but personally, I prefer how farms look on flat land, so I try to build all my farms on flat land whenever possible. I have already rebuilt this road over here that runs along the stream in order to make more room for the pasture. Originally, it had just cut straight through here, and I deleted that segment and then made it basically follow the contours of the stream and of the hills. So let's go ahead and get our sheep farm started. Perfect. And since I've already rearranged my workforce to keep them close to where they work, I also need to construct some more housing for my future sheep herders, and also for the livestock trader that I'm going to need in order to import more sheeps. And while we're working on that, I also still have some more agricultural infrastructure that I want to build, which is to start flax farming over in this area. I had already built the farmhouse in between episodes, which I had built to try to move oxen around, so now I just need to lay down some fields and build the plowing station. So even though this section is going to be prioritizing flax, I'm also going to want to rotate in some extra wheat and barley in places where it makes sense to do so, in order to keep those supplies of food as full as possible. So I can do emmer pretty much anywhere in there, and over here on this side, it's okay to also do some barley. So I'll go ahead and do all of that. And then I'm also going to want to build additional housing for the actual farmers. So let's go ahead and place that down real quick before I forget. Oh, I don't know if I can get a backyard for this smaller plot. Ah, well, I guess we'll just have to go without one. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up my rotations. That will be wheat, and fallow. And that's going to be a very high priority field. So this is going to be my primary flax field. And it's going to be very high priority. And this will be the secondary flax field. And it will also be very high priority. Well, make it high priority because it's smaller. And then the other ones... these are also pretty good. They're smaller, but we'll rotate them around. So this one will be flax, fallow, flax. And this will be wheat, flax. Flax. And did barley go over here? No, not really. So this one will be barley, wheat, flax. It will also be low priority. And then the last one is going to be this one. And we will do wheat, flax, flax. Okay, so that should be all of them. Alright, I'm also going to want to build an extra farmhouse. I'm just going to slap it over here. This is going to be very low priority. But this is going to be for the purposes of reassigning oxen. So I don't really need it, so I'm just going to assign my builders, make it lowest priority so that my builders will pretty much only work on building it when they have nothing else to do. And I also want to make sure that I am importing more oxen in order to plow all these extra fields, and I'll need to check back periodically in order to make sure that I'm buying more oxen. Eventually, once I have enough population to work my livestock trader, it's actually much cheaper to import oxen through the trader than it is to buy them from the stables. So I probably should have been doing that a lot earlier. Would have saved me a lot of money. But, you know, ah well, live and learn. Alright, and then one more thing I want to do in Leineck is I want to plop down a couple of more houses for the purposes of building more blacksmiths. And something that I have learned is that I can't control where new population decides to move into, which houses they decide to move into. It seems like a new family, when they move into the oldest existing house that has a vacancy. So that means that whichever house you built first, that one is the one that a new family will move into. But it also means that if you were to, say, upgrade an existing house, that one will jump ahead in the queue, because if it has a vacancy anyway, it will jump ahead in the queue. And when you upgrade from level 2 to level 3, it actually adds 2 more families to the house. So if we look at one of our level 3 houses over here, right, we have 4 families there instead of just 2. So something that I need to be careful about in Leineck is I do want to be upgrading my houses to level 3 so that I can level up Leineck and get some more advanced armor smithing abilities, which is what I want these 2 houses for. But I don't want to upgrade to level 3 before these houses are built and someone has moved into them, because otherwise I will have to wait. For example, if I were to upgrade all of these over here to level 3s, I would have to wait for all of these houses to fill in before these 2 would fill in. And that could take, a year of in-game time for that to happen, maybe more. And I don't want to have to wait that long. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for homes that I can upgrade. I will definitely upgrade level 1 homes to level 2 homes. I think there's only a few of those in Leineck. They're all over here. But I don't want to upgrade to level 3 until someone has moved into these 2 houses. Okay, so I have these 2 houses. Obviously, they're both empty right now. I'm going to have to wait for someone to move in. While I was waiting for those to get built, it looks like I had new families move into Earlhardt, so let's go take a look at where they moved into and get them assigned to an appropriate job. Let's see... Who was it? So they are going to be tanners. And something that I have noticed is that I don't seem to be getting reliable notifications for when new families move into Leineck. So a new family did move in here at some point recently, but I have no idea where they went. Maybe over here somewhere. And I don't know why that's happening. It's quite frustrating. Oh, it must have been this house here. Okay, so now I have my farmhouse built. I'll go ahead and reset the areas where all of my farms operate. So that one will cover these fields. This one is going to overlap a little bit with that field so that I make sure that it gets done. And I'm not sure what happens when the farm work areas overlap. I really hope that it doesn't lead to problems where, like, they only partially work the field. That would really suck. All right, and then this one's actually going to have considerable overlap. But hopefully that's fine. Hopefully it just means they'll be more likely to, till those fields properly. All right, so now we just kind of wait and let people move in. Oh, and something else that I want to do, now that I've got this plot up to level 2, is I want to convert him into a butcher, so that he will start converting some of the meats that my hunters bring, as well as my nearby pig farmers, and turn them into sausages. Yummy, yummy, delicious sausages. To give myself a little bit more food variety. Okay, and then I just want someone to move into these houses and then get them leveled up to level 2 so I can convert them into blacksmiths or armorsmiths. And it looks like, once again, I got another family that moved into Leineck, but I did not get a notification. So, who moved in? Where are they? Oh, looks like it was this house. Ooh, I noticed both the granary and storehouse over here are getting pretty full. I should probably upgrade both of those. How about my granary and storehouse in Earlhardt? Well, it hasn't been upgraded yet, but it's also got a pretty pathetic supply of food. In fact, Earlhardt kind of looks like it's struggling with keeping its food supplies full. In fact, I just got a warning saying that we're running out of food. I'm betting that part of this is because I'm exporting a bunch of my bread to Leineck. So how's Leineck doing in food? Leineck is loaded. Tons of spare bread. Okay, so I think what I should probably do is change my trade setups at my pack stations so that I'm not transferring as much of my bread to Leineck and I send something else there instead. So let's see what I'm currently exporting. Shoes for tools, that's good. All right, bread for charcoal. That's something I might consider changing. Malt, barley, and then bread for helmets. Okay, so maybe I'm getting some war bows imported. Maybe I'll send over some war bows in exchange for helmets, you know, military tool for military tool, so that Leineck can train its own archery units. And then, actually, I also wonder if it might be a good idea, instead of sending bread over, to send firewood over. Where is firewood? Because if I send firewood over to Leineck, they can convert it to charcoal in the kilns, and then send it back as charcoal, which is more efficient than firewood to begin with, except this, 0.2 trade yield might not be... I mean, I do have a lot of firewood, so I don't know, maybe it'll work. What was I sending before? This was bread. I don't know, maybe I'll leave it as bread for now, because that trade is so lopsided. And Leineck does need to have some bread. I should also probably import some extra cheap foods from my trading post so that I can keep my stocks up before the next harvest season. So let's see, what are we doing here? Maybe I'll get, I don't know, 50 berries, and maybe I will do a full trade of meat, so I'll actually import meat if I don't have enough. Or what else am I doing? Can I sell anything? So I can do this until I get a healthy surplus of food. Of course, with all the housing I'll be building, I'll be able to fill the backyards with more chickens and pigs and goats and vegetables, which should help keep my food supplies a little higher. Let's import some more salt, so I make sure I have plenty of salt for creating those sausages. I'm exporting tools, that's good. How many shoes do I have? I know I'm sending shoes to Leineck. And then military weapons. I'll import some more war bows so I could send them over to Leineck. This might drain my wealth a little bit faster, but it's fine. I can just do it until the next harvest season and until I get these farms up and running, and that should hopefully give me a more stable surplus of food. Well, let's check Leineck's trade while we're looking at this stuff. Do they have 2 horses? Yes, they have 2 horses. Alright, so what am I doing? I'm exporting fish. Let's make sure I have an extra buffer of fish. I want 2 fish for every household at least. Import some berries. They're importing a small amount of bread. Exporting vegetables. Okay, that all looks good. Export iron slabs. Export firewood above 250, so that's enough firewood to both fuel all the homes and also to create charcoal. Keep some tools. Okay, I'm not importing any weapons. And let's also come over here and recruit an archery unit in Leineck, so that the war bows that I transfer over will have, will start supplying that military force. And let's go ahead and take a look at these trades too. Let's make sure I'm not importing more bread. No. What if I... send charcoal in exchange for firewood? Alright, so I'm just sending lots and lots and lots of charcoal. Okay, it looks like I got a family that I can now assign to my livestock trading post. And I can start importing some sheep and some lambs. Oh, and I got another family. So I think what the issue is families move in at the same point during the month, probably at the start of the month, and it looks like it only shows me one notification because they both move in at the same time. So what house has 2 families? Oh, nope, it's one of the burgage plots that is going to have my blacksmiths. So now I just have to wait for them to get to level 2. And in order to get that, they need more fuel, which they should get, hopefully, once the storehouse upgrades, because I have plenty of firewood and charcoal. So that should just be a matter of waiting a little bit. Alright, so now I have 2 families. So I can assign one in one house to work at the livestock trading post, and the other will go to the sheep pasture. And according to this, I've got 2 sheep. I see an oxen. Where are my 2 sheep? Oh, are they waiting for, like, someone to come guide them? Alright, well, one of my sheep found its way into the pasture. This one is taking her own sweet time. Okay, well, I got some sheep. I got a shepherd. So everything's good for now. Let's go ahead and upgrade this to add more housing. And food's looking a little bit better in Earlhardt now that harvest season has begun. Okay, so I got more people moved in. Apparently I have 2 new families. Well, I think that's just both of my future blacksmiths. Okay, we're good. Okay, and now I have both of these houses are populated. Both of them are level 2. So now I can turn both into armorers. And then I can start upgrading all of my homes to level 3 once that option becomes available. And I just need 3 of them. Just need 3. And I will be able to get a new development point. So what do we need? We need a church level. Well then, let's get this church upgraded, shall we? Well, that felt like it took forever. I think it was only like 2 in-game months, but it felt longer. Okay, and I actually do have a bunch of houses that I can start upgrading to level 3. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll start with my specialists. Oh, I don't have enough materials to do all of them. What am I missing? Roof tiles. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's go over here then and start reactivating these mines. Might have a bunch of roof tiles over here too. Yes, I do. So maybe I can actually send some of those over. And huzzah! We've got a level for Leineck. So now I can start creating advanced armor making, which will let me create mail armor. And I'm going to go ahead and start producing that right now. And we'll go ahead and expand that living space. Any other houses that can go to level 3? How many do I need for the next development point? I need to get up to 7 level 3 houses. Okay. How am I doing on food now? Food is looking pretty good. I have a 6-month reserve. Got almost 300 bread, so let's go ahead and tone down these trades. And that should help get my revenue back up. Oh, in the meantime, I can also upgrade that house, which will also help. Oh my gosh. I got one of my oxen living at the pack station. Wonderful. Okay, now that I've got the livestock trader, I can start importing my oxen. So I have 10 oxen, so let's go make this 12. Wait, I have 0 sheep? What happened to my sheep? Did they kill the sheep for food? The hell happened? I probably shouldn't import that much more because I don't have enough money. Alright, and we got our last level in Leineck, or next level anyway, but it might be the last one that we get. So now I can get the plate armor upgrade. And I can change one of these blacksmiths to producing plate armor. And eventually I'm going to want to start sending that to Earlhardt as well. So as you can see, I have some armor on my archer militias here. And in order to get the next level, I only actually need 4 more level 3 houses. So that is actually attainable. I wonder what development point I would take if I get that. Ooh. Do I not have enough oxen? I thought I had bought an extra one. I guess not. Alright, so what I need to do is I need to come unassign these. And then I'll have my 2 free oxen. That's probably why this stuff wasn't getting built. It's probably waiting for logs. Ugh, I hate when I do stuff like that. And it looks like this clay pit is finally exhausted, so I can go ahead and reassign these workers. And that should hopefully give me more lumber as well for upgrading homes, since the sawmills seem to be taking all of my dang lumber to make planks. Alright, so since I found that buying livestock from the trading post is considerably cheaper than buying them from the stables, I should probably also put a livestock trader in Leineck. So from there, I can import more mules for moving goods between the 2 settlements, and it'll be considerably cheaper. So let's plop one of those down. Alright, I also noticed that my sheep keep disappearing, which is forcing my trader to keep rebuying them, and I'm assuming that that's because I have a butcher that is butchering them for meat. So I want to find all my butchers and make sure that they are not processing sheep. So that one's making sausages. That one's making sausages. Alright, there's meat. So let's set a reserve, let's say 20 sheep, and 10 lambs for now. That way I should have plenty of sheep left over for harvesting wool from them. So now I go back over to my livestock trader and I need to set some import limits. And speaking of setting reserves, I also want to upgrade my manor further, and I never seem to have enough lumber to do it. And I think the problem is that my sawmills are just too damned quick at scooping up all the lumber and turning them into planks. So I'm going to set my sawmills in both regions to have a reserve limit for lumber. This way I will always have some in reserve for new construction. I'm going to build a second lumber yard as well, because I don't know if I can actually hold more lumber than, like, I don't know if they store lumber. Which means I will also need more livestock over here, so let me build another hitching post. Alright, so I already have a limit of 60. And let's take a look over here. Yes, these do not have a limit. For now, I'll also set this to 60 because I only have the 2 of them. And I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way because I am not going to want them there. No, don't demolish them, move them. I'm going to want to build some stuff in here, so I want to get those out of the way. Okay, and then I should probably also build another lumber camp over here. So that I can store more wood when I actually have some wood to do it. Case in point. I also want to start getting my weapons production into overdrive. So I noticed that I have, in Leineck, a ton of iron, but I never seem to have enough iron slabs. And I think the problem is that I don't have enough bloomeries to convert all of my iron ore into slabs. And this smithy... Whoops. And this smithy automatically converts iron slabs into tools, but yet I also have a blacksmith over here that's creating tools. So I'm going to set him to create iron parts, and I'm going to tell this guy over here to make spears. And I'm going to place a couple more bloomeries. Also, I want to point out that it's a little bit funny and ironic that I originally settled Leineck in order to just be a small little mining town with some blacksmiths, but it just kept growing and growing, and now it's actually a higher level than my main settlement in Earlhardt, and it has almost as much population. No, I guess not quite. Earlhardt still has a lot more, but still, Leineck ended up getting a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And then, speaking of getting more weapons, I also need to start producing more... I need to start producing bows. And this is another thing that I should have been doing a long time ago, but I didn't do it. And this way, I won't be reliant on paying the high import costs for bows and crossbows, which is one of the biggest things that's draining my economy right now. And something else that's going to be a problem that I should probably head off now before it becomes a major problem is the food disparity between the two settlements. So Earlhardt only has 3 months of food left, despite being the breadbasket with all our farms, and Leineck has 7 months. And the reason for this, I think, is because most of my bread is getting imported from Earlhardt to Leineck. So I need to come over here and change some of my... pack station assignments. So I'm going to stop sending them as much bread, and instead I'm going to send them, let's say, firewood. And I don't need all these helmets anymore, so let's do mail armor. And then if I come over here... And I never have enough meat. I should also send them apples. Maybe that's what I'll do over here. I'll send them apples. Am I producing my own large shields? Where's my joiner? I'm not, but I could be. I don't know why I wasn't. Alright, so now I don't need to import large shields anymore. Now I can export them. Okay, that stuff finally got moved, so now I can place down this other lumberyard. Would the woodcutter fit in here? No. Alright, and now that I am producing more flax and wool, I should also create a dyer's workshop. And another weaver's workshop. In order to convert my imported berries into dyes for creating fancier clothing. And then I'll also need to set a reserve of berries so that they aren't all eaten by villagers before they can be used to make dyes. And I'll need to make sure that I'm importing more of them. So I'll have to leave some for food. Okay, we got some raiders. Where are they coming from? All the way on the other side of the map. Okay, well, let's go ahead and mobilize our troops then.
Pick up the pace! Yes, sire! Sire! Attack! Kill them! Yes! Yes, sire! My lord! Kill them! Men! Pick up the pace. Keep shooting. Your orders. Keep shooting. Run. Your orders. Your position.
All right, so I had to do a bunch of stuff off screen. I ran into some problems with like food production where all of the bread was getting shipped from Earlhardt to Leineck, and Earlhardt was starving to death. So I had to change some of my pack station and trading policies, and because there wasn't enough food in Earlhardt, these plots that I intend to be my bowyers were never able to upgrade to level 2 because they just were never getting enough food from the food stalls. So I tried things where I created a temporary marketplace and granary over here and assigned them to work it just to put food there, and that did work, but it took me like an entire in-game year. And in the meantime, like the royal tax is going up, and I was importing so much food that both settlements became broke, and I had to save scum, and I had to go back and redo things. And in addition to doing that, I also made some other changes in Earlhardt in particular. I queued up a handful of new houses over here so that I can have more workers to work the additional logging camp that I had constructed. I also expanded my farms again. I created a few new fields. I added some new housing plots. I created another granary and a communal oven for storing food and then producing bread. And then I made another row of homes along here. And there's a road here where I intend to put another farm, probably, if I need one, or another field. But first, I set up my logging camp and woodcutter to try to chop down all these trees so I at least get that lumber first. And I set all of these to low priority so that, they won't get built until I'm done building all of the other stuff. Another thing that happened in the meantime was Leineck got another development point. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to spend this on. I would like to be able to take better deals, but unfortunately, this is the last development point that I'm going to get, because in this version of the game, settlements can only get up to level 6. And in order to get better deals, I would need to first get trade logistics. Trade logistics can help when I decide to start exporting things like weapons and armor and shields and stuff like that. So I think this is probably the best option by far. The only thing that would maybe compete with it would possibly be to take the advanced pond keeping, which would let me continue to catch fish during the winter. But I think the populations of fish are so low that it's just not really going to help all as much as I would like it to. So I'm going to go with trade logistics to save up my wealth whenever I export weapons and shields and stuff like that. So I've got quite a bit of regional wealth now, so I'm going to go ahead and open up some of those trade routes. I do have to be careful with how much money I'm spending, though, because the royal tax has gotten crazy high, almost 2k, and I'm going to have a hard time keeping up with that. So I'm going to set an export for helmets, because I have produced way too much helmets, but I am going to keep some of them, so I'll keep, let's say, 72, which is enough to equip 2 units of soldiers. I don't think I'm going to do the plate armor one yet, because that's still crazy expensive. But I can do large shields. These technically are coming from Earlhardt, but I'm using the pack stations to bring some over here to equip spear militia, so I'm probably going to have a larger surplus over here, because excess in Earlhardt's going to come over here. And unfortunately, this game doesn't have any way to, set reserve limits or priority for how your pack stations work, so I can't set up my pack station so that Earlhardt only sends, enough shields to equip Leineck's troops, and then Earlhardt exports all of the excess shields. It's just going to keep sending shields to Leineck as long as it is producing shields. So Leineck's the one that's going to get the large stockpile of shields, not Earlhardt. So I'm going to sell excesses of those as well. And these should be pretty valuable. So again, I'm going to keep... for now, I'm just going to keep 36 of them. You know what? I can probably only keep 36 of these, too. That's enough to equip a full unit. What else do I have excess of? I have spears now. I'm also producing spears. So I can export spears. And again, I'll hold on to 36 of those. Some of those spears are also getting imported over to Earlhardt, which means I don't need to keep importing spears using Earlhardt's trader. So let's go end that. I can still export gambesons. How many gambesons do I have? They just don't produce very many, but hopefully that'll change now that I have, like, flax and stuff. Earlhardt could probably also export helmets and shields. Importing warbows, I'm not going to need to do that anymore either. In fact, I can export excesses beyond 36. Eventually, I will export... crossbows, but I can't do that yet either. So I will also set a reserve for that. And, yeah, so that cuts down on a lot of the imports. Now, basically, the only things that Earlhardt is importing are a small amount of salt for creating my cured meats in my butchers, and the berries that are being used to create dyes. Everything else is export. So, how many roof tiles do I have? Okay, not enough. So those are the changes that I made off screen. I'm not going to start any new trade routes because I need to make sure that I still have enough regional wealth in here to build up my treasury. I've also been upgrading homes. I've got a bunch more level 3 homes over here. I got a couple over here. I'm holding off on upgrading any more of these to level 3 for now because I have a couple more plots that I want to convert into weaponsmiths, and I need to make sure that those fill in with population before I upgrade more houses to level 3, because then those will probably fill in with families before my new weaponsmiths do. So now that I've got all that taken care of, it is time to finally build these dang bow workshops. So I'm just going to start with the 2 for now because I need an extra unassigned family to work stuff because I created those extra farms. My old unassigned families ended up having to work those farms. So... Alright, so now I have 2 bowyers, so this one is going to make crossbows. I should keep probably some planks in reserve, because planks is an issue. So I'll make sure that I have 10 planks in reserve. And we'll have, as well, 10 planks in reserve here. I might up this as I get more planks, but... I might need more lumber camps in order to get more planks, because you can't store lumber in storehouses. You can only store lumber in the lumber camps, and they have a limited number and no way to upgrade that storage. So Manor Lords devs, if you're watching this, another wishlist item of mine would be the ability to upgrade logging camps so that they can increase their timber storage. Alright, I also got another family that had moved in while I was waiting for that, so... that family is up down here. So this is going to be one of my weavers. So let's go ahead and assign them. Alright, so now I have a dyer, I have a weaver. I've already created my other tailors. So I'm getting now basically all of the clothing items. Got clothes, gambesons, cloaks, and then I've got my cobbler over here making shoes. And I'll hold off for now on putting a backyard here. I'll probably make this another bowyer. Because, I mean, I don't think I have anything else that's, like, really useful that I could create. Like, there's no point in making this a blacksmith because I don't have metal ingots here. Like, I could import them, but it just seems like that's probably wasteful. So I'm not going to do that, at least not for now. Maybe if I do end up with excess metal iron slabs that come over here, I'll consider doing that, but I'm not going to do it right now. And it looks like my new farms are getting plowed and sowed. So this is all working. Just waiting for people to move in so that they can also be assigned to work this farm. And then Earlhardt hopefully should be a lot more productive in terms of food, which means that those bread imports should not result, or those bread exports should not result in Earlhardt essentially starving itself. Again, I wish there were a way to set reserves for your pack station barter so that you don't send all of your food in one settlement to another settlement, and then the first settlement starves. So again, Manor Lords devs, if you happen to be watching this, that's another wish list item. And then while I'm waiting for that, I have some unassigned families over here, so I can probably start expanding this manor. So let me go ahead and do that. One of the things that I want to do, since I'm focusing on military right now, is I need another garrison tower to increase my retinue size. And then I'm going to put a rear gate back here. Alright, that should be good enough for now. Alright, got a nice new manor upgrade built. But we've got a bunch of unemployed people, so I'm going to have to go work on that. But first, let's up this tax rate so we can make sure that we can afford the king's ransom when that comes due again. And actually, something else that I can do that I wasn't doing is I can actually place a forager hut. So even though I don't have berries to pick here, one of the things that I can do is I can upgrade this with an herb garden. And make that low. When that gets built, I upgrade it with an herb garden, and I'll have a small supply of herbs as well. So that's a little cheat I learned online. And now I am in a little bit of trouble because, as you can see, the royal tax is now more than my treasury. I still have a whole year to accumulate that, but that's still worrisome. All right, now I'm gonna need a another farmhouse somewhere, or maybe two. Maybe I actually will put some actual farms over here. All right, let's do some more upgrades to the manor and see if I can finally seal this entire area off. And bam, we have a complete manor. Completely enclosed by walls with watchtowers and everything. I'm not super happy with this corner. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I might, like, change it around. Maybe I'll expand the wall to go out here. I don't know. But for now, here's our Leineck Manor. Of course, we got a full manor in Leineck before we got it in Earlhardt, because Leineck's basically the real capital now. But we got our new farmhouses built, so let's go and check on that. We got all our houses built too, although of course no one's living in any of them yet. Alright, so now I need to do a little bit of ox juggling. I wonder if it's time for another tavern. Hmm, 1.5 more. I don't think I want to field that big. All right, and of course I'm not going to start actually planting on these fields until I actually have, families living over here to work these farmhouses. So, okay, so I finally got people moving into these two houses here. So I'm going to get that upgraded to level 2 so I can turn it into a blacksmith. I already did that for this one off camera. So now I'm producing sidearms here, and then in the other house I'm going to start producing pole arms. And then once all that's done, I'm going to have my own domestic supply of weapons to train troops, and I will just about be ready to start taking some of Hildebolt's land. So I will probably start with Leuter Flucht. I really wish that Leuter Flucht had been the one that had berries, because then I'd be able to get domestic berries and turn that into dyes, but I'm not going to be able to. I'm debating whether I should maybe try going to Albrook first in order to get the berries, but I'm afraid that that's too far away, and if Hildebolt counterattacks, then I'm not going to be able to defend that. So I think I need to play it safe. I need to go here first. I will at least get the rich deposit of wild animals, which means I should finally get like a decent supply of meat. So this will basically become a hunting and fishing village. I guess I'll put a clay deposit in here too, since that's rich, and I'll harvest this stone and salt as well. But I honestly don't expect the game to last long enough to fully develop Leuter Flucht, and I'm not sure exactly what causes the game to end, what will give me the victory. I don't know if just claiming the final territory here in Albrook will give me the victory, or if I have to do anything else. But I do think I still need to build a slightly larger military before I can effectively capture Hildebolt's territory. So it's not going to be like, immediate. I still want to train at least one unit of sword and one unit of pole arm troops. And look at how well developed this is. Like, this entire map is almost filled in, other than this little, we'll call this a royal forest over here, where the Lord hunts his wild animals. He comes here to go on his game hunts. But yeah, we've got all farms. I started farming up here. This is all, logging and fishing. And, over here, this is even more dense and urban looking, at least more compact. At least until I start putting houses, up in this area to fill in all this space. But, yeah, I mean, I've pretty much filled up half of this map so far, so pretty good. Alright, so let's get this house upgraded. Off camera, I also built a couple more bloomeries, but I don't have the population yet to work them, so I'm working on that. I'll be working on that next. Blacksmith. And once again, I want to point out how much I love the way that this game lets you build irregular lots like this. Being able to build this weirdly shaped lot that, you can fit into these, little irregularly shaped spaces is really cool. I hope pretty much all future antiquity and medieval and Renaissance city building games do something similar. Even in modern video games, like, I'd really like to be able to have like a proper cul-de-sac, like in City Skylines, be able to do a proper cul-de-sac where, the housing lots actually completely surround the cul-de-sac circle, and they're not like broken into like square lots. They would actually be like, arc-shaped lots. And City Skylines 2 does have a cul-de-sac that you can plop, but you can only build like square rectangular lots only on like the sides, right? They don't like completely surround it. But in a game like this, with the way that this works, like, you could totally do that. I could make a cul-de-sac in Manor Lords if I wanted to, and maybe that's something I should do. Maybe I'll do that in Leuter Flucht, but actually make a proper cul-de-sac and see how it looks. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so I've got my pole arms now. I think I might want to set some. I don't know. Should I set reserves? Like, do I really care about how many? I'm not. The problem is I'm not generating enough iron slabs. I honestly don't think that I could. I honestly do not think that I could even set a reserve, even if I wanted to, because, like, I would never have enough, right? Because I always have 0. I have crap tons of iron ore, but even with 1, 2, 3 bloomeries working with 2 families in each one, I still never have iron slabs. And I just noticed that my iron deposit is apparently empty, so I wonder what happens now. Like, they do still get to keep mining it, right? Like, isn't that's the whole point of the deep mine? So this was a rich deposit. It says I get to extract resources indefinitely. But my miners are just waiting around. They're not actually mining it, so I guess we'll see if they actually... if this works. Maybe this doesn't work. Maybe it's broken somehow. I certainly hope not. Because I'm in the final stretch here. I need this iron. Well, I suppose if these miners can't work the mine, I guess I could put them in these other two bloomeries. And I'll come back and check on that mine later and see if people will actually still work it and remove iron from it. Hopefully it isn't completely exhausted. That would suck. Alright, and now I've got a family over here. Geez, is there any point in actually assigning this person to the farm now? Since it's kind of too late to harvest anything? Oh well. And I do have livestock. Yes, I have livestock. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do barley, wheat, and barley. And what did my, what was the, ooh, I do have flax over here, so I could totally do flax. So let's do that. Instead of doing barley, wheat, barley, I'll do barley, wheat, flax here. And then over here, we'll do, wait, that was barley, wheat, flax. Yeah, okay, so now here we'll do wheat, flax, barley, and then here I'll do barley, fallow, barley. No. Fallow, barley, barley. So I have barley during the times when the other one isn't producing barley. And then over here, we'll go ahead and do some wheat and wheat. And this can be barley and wheat and then fallow. Okay. Alright, now I just gotta wait for these houses to fill in to get more people working this farm, these farms, and get someone in this tavern. And then I should be able to potentially start upgrading some of these houses even to level 3. You know, which I was debating on whether I wanted to do earlier, but I might as well, because it looks like I need the money. Alright, so now I basically just wait for some swords and polearms to show up and start recruiting units. So I'll go ahead and start doing that now. Oh, wait a minute. Can I not create more units?
No!
Don't be
Oh yeah, it won't let me make any more units. Well, shoot, I guess I won't be training any more armies to fight Hildebolt. I guess basically all I have left to do is just upgrade my retinue. Can I even upgrade these guys to give them armor? No, it doesn't look like I can. Well, from a UI standpoint, it would be nice if the game had told me that I can't recruit more units. I wonder if I need more territory to recruit more units. Maybe. Like, maybe if I do annex one of the other territories, maybe then it will let me build more units. But I don't know. Now I kind of feel like all that time getting, like, armor and stuff was wasted. Like, what even is this other stuff? What is this thing here? What is this? This looks like, I don't know, these, like, supplies? Well, in that case, I don't know. Maybe I should just go ahead and attack Hildebolt. I mean, I guess another thing that I could do is I could disband units and replace them with the more advanced units. Like, for example, I could remove this spear unit and replace it with a pole arm or a sidearm unit. So maybe that's what I will do. And then I will get rid of one of my... and create a polearm unit. Okay, so... I guess that's that. That should, I guess, give me a crap ton more spears to sell. Oh, did it not give me spears? That's a bummer. I don't know, maybe it did give me the spears back. I didn't check how many I had before. Alright, well, I guess now I just wait for these units to populate. And I can go ahead and upgrade my retinue. I don't know if I'll be able to put armor on all of them, but I'll put armor on as many as I can. All right, so I let this run for quite a while, and it says here that people are mining, but I don't know that they actually do anything. It looks like they basically just go in, and then there's nothing for them to mine, and then they just come right back out. So, I don't know if they're... Well, it says they are transporting iron ore, but, like, here's the thing. Like, my supply of iron is down to almost nothing. And if you remember earlier, it was, like, constantly hovering around, like, 1 to 200. Mostly around 200. So, this might be technically true, that you can keep mining the deep mines indefinitely, but it's, like, a tiny, slow trickle of resources. Like, hardly any. Like, and we can follow this guy back to wherever he's gonna put this, and, like, see how... Oh, well... Okay, he didn't even, like, put it anywhere. Like, we've got 3 iron, right, from, like, multiple people working this mine. So it's not producing a whole lot, which of course means our supply of iron slabs has run out, our supply of iron parts has run out. Thankfully, I already have most of the weapons I need, although I am still waiting for more sidearms. I need about another 13 more, and I still need 5 more pole arms to fill out my militia. Yeah, it's just incredibly slow going. Something I could do, I have shit tons of crossbows. I could delete this unit and recruit another crossbow militia. And I was tempted to delete this spear militia and create another pole or footman, but I don't want to do that now if it's going to take forever to get new weapons. So I'm just going to wait for these 2 to fill up, and then I'm going for Leuter Flucht. So in the meantime, like, we grew a lot. You know, this area over here, I've expanded. I got another brewer, working on another malt house, a couple more burgage plots. Did a bunch of expansion over here on the hill in my main city. I'm going to turn these into, like, artisans that are just going to produce, like, you know, wooden parts and maybe, like, more clothes and stuff like that that can be traded away for money, which I could then spend to import, you know, things like iron or food or stuff like that that I'm going to need. Because the economies of these cities are starting to become problematic. Because a lot of the resources that I depended on are running out. And Leineck now is also having trouble with food. Earlhardt is pretty good, although we are like 1 month away from beginning the harvest season, which means I'm going to get a large boost of bread coming in the next few months. So it should be fine. My traders are still, you know, bringing in small reserves of meat, berries, and eggs, and they'll bring in bread if we run out of bread. I hope it doesn't come to that. But, man, yeah, fish. So these fish are really good early in the game. Turns out they're not as great later in the game. So I guess maybe they're not as OP as I thought they were in, like, the first or second episode of this. But, I mean, they're still crazy powerful for getting your village going, but, yeah, it's just frustrating how little meat you can get. Like, even having a crap ton of backyards that have, like, pigs and goats in them, you just don't get enough meat. So I know the expansion this summer is supposed to have like a major rebalancing of a lot of things, so I'm wondering if things like food supplies and stuff like that are going to get tweaked considerably. I hope so, because like right now, I just don't care much for the way that, for how hard it is to do anything except for farming. So we'll see if that gets changed. Oh, well, hold the presses. We've got Hildebolt is trying to make a move again. So he is trying to claim Earlhardt. I have plenty of cash, so I actually could recruit some mercenaries as well. Alright, so I'm going to deploy my troops. I wish this would, like, group them by, like, which settlement they're from. That would be nice. Alright, so I don't exactly know where they're all going to spawn. So I'm going to take up defensive positions, you know, around my fort. And if I have to move them, you know, then I'll move them. They don't need to run. Nobody needs to run.
Keep falling back. My lord.
Okay, and then here are my Leineck troops. I'll rally them over here.
My liege. My lord, your orders.
Hopefully I don't lose a bunch of these militiamen that I've been waiting so long. Okay, so there's all my units mobilized. Where did my... looks like my militia guys all came over there, or my mercenary guys all came over there. Alright, and we'll go ahead and say no to his annexation claim. My claims are non-negotiable. Leave me the hell alone. So now, where is the battlefield supposed to be? Well, the battlefield's not even in Earlhardt. Whatever. Okay, so did Hildebolt's troops spawn? Yeah, okay, Hildebolt's troops are spawning over there. So let's pause, and I'll move my mercs over here.
Advance.
Alright, so I'm going to move all my people.
Your orders. Advance.
Back here.
March. Your orders. Advance.
Alright, and now I'll move these troops over here.
Advance. Yes, sire. Advance. March. My liege. Advance.
And I'll have all these guys run into position. I hope they're actually shooting at enemy army and not all the deer.
My liege. Forward.
I wonder how much defense my walls are actually giving me. And now, do I have to chase them around the map? This is always annoying when the archers are all that's left. Like, I really wish I had, like, some cavalry or something, you know, to chase them down. Alright, here we go. Because it says there's 79 days remaining, so I think he might send a second wave at some point, but we'll see. Oh boy, another royal tax increase. Almost 2.5K. I mean, thankfully, with trade, I finally got both of my settlements, you know, up into, like, the thousands in terms of regional wealth. So, no, like, weren't you offering me thousands before? Now you're only offering me a few hundred? Like, no. That's not how negotiation works. But anyway, even with fairly modest tax rates now, I get pretty good revenue, right? So I'm only at, you know, hovering around 10% total. Usually I'm alternating between 9 and 11, and, you know, it's going well. Looks like I did pay my mercenaries for a second month. Right? That says 457 silver. Like, no. No. And, like, what? I mean, I guess maybe on, like, a much larger map, one of the other maps, like, hypothetically, accepting a bribe like that is something you might consider doing if you are completely overmatched. But realistically, like, no one's ever going to do that. I wish I could use this, because I have so much... Well, I guess I don't have any King's Favor. I have a crap ton of influence. Oh, come on. Are they going to send more troops or not? Because I want to disband these friggin' mercenaries before I have to pay them again. Oh, there's the second wave. And it looks like a much smaller wave. Give my retinue a little bit of action. You know, I put all that armor and stuff on, I might as well use them. Oh, do they even have the armor? Oh, it doesn't look like any of them are actually wearing the armor that I bought. That's a shame. Okay, so is that everything now? What are they shooting at? Oh. Oh, okay. Now, all their dudes are broken. And that should probably be it. I don't expect them to send a third wave in the next, 2 weeks. Okay. End of their contract. Let's go ahead and dismiss them. I'll keep the rest of my militia mobilized for the time being. Let's reactivate this corpse pit. I don't know if there's any corpses over here, but I will go ahead and reactivate the corpse pit just in case. And make sure that this battle ends. What part of it not negotiable does Hildebolt not understand? Oh, right. Hooray. I won a battle. Guess that means I can disband my troops. And now just wait for all the dead bodies to get picked up. All those dead bodies. All of Hildebolt's men. And probably a few of my mercenaries. My polearm militia is finally full. So now I just need 8 more foot soldiers, and I'm good. And I've got plenty... Oh, I have plenty of shields. Again, it's the sidearms that I'm waiting for. Since iron production is so slow. Maybe I should just friggin' import the rest of them, just to speed things up. Oh, and there we go, full. All 36s except for the retinue. Okay, so now, let's go for it, I guess. All these bodies are cleaned up, so I don't need people on the corpse pit for now. But whatever, I'll leave them there for now, in case. Alright, well, let's rally everyone, I guess. Once again, Earlhardt, Leineck, Earlhardt. Leineck, still running out of food. Leineck is out of food. Where the heck is all the friggin' bread? Earlhardt, you've got crap tons of bread. They've got crap ton of charcoal, right? So, what's going on? Why is bread not moving?
Men,
What else can I do? Malt, barley, more bows. There's small shields. I guess I'll just send them bread there as well. Come over here. Change all my imports to bread for now. And I guess import some more. Until I get decent supply of food, because it's only February, so that's not a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna try to move everybody over here.
Stand and fight! Advance! Yes, sire! Advance!
No, guys, don't run. So I'm hoping the battlefield will be up on this plateau, because that's a much easier position to defend, but I don't know if that's the case. Usually it seems like it's always down here. Oh, Leineck. Leineck, you're killing me! Why do you have to do this crap now? Why couldn't you let me just friggin' fight my war in peace? Whatever. Import more crap, I guess. Here, import some fish and vegetables, too. I wonder if it makes a difference whether you're fighting in winter or in summer. Do these units, like, get cold? No, I see climbing, cohesion. I don't see anything about them being bothered by the cold weather. So, I guess that means it would be okay to invade Russia if I wanted to invade Russia in this game. Alright, so let's go ahead and use our influence. Since all my troops are pretty close, except for this guy who's pretty slow, probably because he's, you know, fully armored. No. That is a pretty sizable force. Alright, let's start positioning all my troops. Oh, maybe I should have kept the mercenaries, damn it. Alright, hopefully that doesn't, like, come back and bite me in the ass. I wonder if they're gonna meet me over here. Are they not going to come up this hill? Are they going to go around? No, it looks like they're turning. Okay. So let's get them back into the position I wanted them to be in. Yeah, I think mercenaries would have been a good idea. Alright guys, go a little faster. They're almost here.
Unit at will.
Let's get my archers to back up.
Heavy infantry. To battle, my lord. To battle, sire. Attack, men. March. Your orders.
I'll have them defend over there. Oh boy, I think I'm losing dudes thanks to these archers. Gotta get my crossbows over here. Where are you going? Alright, now back all these dudes up and let my archers take care. And hope I don't lose too many people getting shot in the back. Okay, I don't know where these dudes keep thinking they're going. But, like, no. Shoot.
Stand and fight. Units, stay still. Stand and fight.
Alright, let's also have everyone who can spread out, so they are harder to hit. Oh, yeah, I lost a lot of retinue troops. Damn.
My liege. Sire.
Summer's coming soon. Soon the beating sun.
Got him. Alright, I do anticipate there being a second wave, so I'm going to start positioning all my units in anticipation of that. No. Okay, so now what do I have left? Put these guys in the middle. Put these guys to cover the flanks. Again, I've said it before. In every other time I fight, this is all Total War. You know, habits here of making sure that I protect my flanks with, spearmen or pikemen. Because Total War games, of course, have cavalry units, so you have to have cavalry in order to protect your... Or, sorry, you have to have spears or pikes in order to protect your flanks from cavalry. Ooh, there's some mercenaries available. I wonder if Hildebolt, literally just bought them. Oh, yeah, he did. Damn, I was too slow. Okay, well, hopefully this is all he's got. Okay, and there they go. Once again, they're pivoting. No, again, my claims are not negotiable for the 10th time.
Pick up the pace! Sire! Run! My lord! Move quickly! Men! Sire! Your orders! Kill them! My liege! Pick up the pace! My liege! Men! Sire!
Why can't these guys move? This retinue is stuck. Well, that's problematic. Hopefully they'll be able to go back to my territory. Okay, now they're moving. Weird. Why does it show that I'm losing? Do I have to actually, be in the battlefield area? I don't know, let me just move all my troops over there, just in case. Still no mercs. I'll keep an eye out in case I get the notification again. Okay, now it says that I'm winning, now that I'm actually inside the battlefield. Alright, well, sure, fine, whatever. I'll position my troops over here. I will hire the mercenaries so that Hildebolt can't. Well, they'll probably all get killed now, but whatever. They're not my people.
Kill them! Pick up the pace! I lead! Kill them! Yes! Something's coming. Yes, sire! Run!
Oh, come on, run! You can run faster than that.
Yes, sire! Yes, sire! Move quickly!
Well, these guys are having quite the little skirmish. Oh, cool. My mercs won in both battles. Okay, let's try to get them up here. We'll have them cross. Ooh, shield wall. That'll be nice against their archers. Too bad I didn't have that before.
Yes, sire! Sire! Men! My liege! Your orders? Pick up the pace! My liege! Yes, sire! Faster! My liege! Your orders? Faster! Sire! Run, men! Charge! Sire! Die! Faster! My lord! My lord! Your orders? At my signal! My liege! Move quickly! Your orders? Yes, sire! My liege! Your orders? Charge! Die! Faster! Sire! Kill them! My liege! Sire! We all know what that
Oh, interesting. Where did those guys come from? Goods looted? Oh, god damn it, that's bullshit. They're not even in the city. How are they lighting things on fire?
My lord! My lord!
Okay. Well, hopefully they didn't do too much damage. So I think I can probably disband them.
My liege, your orders.
My lord!
Your orders. Sire.
Alright, here's my Earlhardt troops.
Yes!
My liege. Sire.
Here's my Leineck troops. Oh, wait, these guys are still here? Oh, these are brigands, that's why. These are brigands, that's why. Oh, man, this sucks. Why couldn't the game have, like, been a little bit better about telling me that that it was friggin' brigands coming from the other direction? Like, oh, that's so annoying.
Sire. My liege, your orders. My liege. Your orders.
Stupid brigands. God, my units are so friggin' slow. Alright, come on. Move towards my units. Stop lighting things on fire. What are they doing?
Sire. Hold.
Okay, is that everyone now? Can I, like... Can I stand down now? Okay. Sounds like the music changed, so yes, I think I can.
Your orders. Your orders.
Oh, can I, like, create a... Oh, I can create a function group. Alright, cool.
My liege, lord. My liege.
Now, can I create a function group of just my archers? Ooh, okay, cool. Very neat. Alright, so 1, disband. 2, go over to Leineck, and then disband.
Faster. Men. My liege. Sire.
Hold on, I'm gonna play around with this a little bit more. So 5, that's gonna be 9, that's just all my archers. These guys will be, my retinue will be 8, and all melee will be 7. I had no idea you could do that. Alright, so now I have conquered Leuter Flucht. I've got a 3rd territory, 1 more territory, and I will knock Hildebolt out of the game and presumably win the game, but I don't know for sure. So we'll see how what happens. But I think this will have to be the end of the game for now, or the end of the play session for now. I'm going to have to go and do some rebuilding for a bunch of stuff. A bunch of new people moved in. I've got to assign them to jobs. And then in the next episode, I will work on starting to colonize or settle in Leuter Flucht. Start harvesting these wild animals, do some more fishing, import that stuff to the other cities, or to the other settlements, and then rebuild my military. I'm going to have to pay to replace a bunch of my retinue. It looks like all the rest of my units got out unscathed, though, so that's good. But I've got to pay to rebuild my retinue, and then I can go after Hildebolt's final territory, and next time I'll make sure that I remember to recruit mercenaries before I start the fight so that Hildebolt can't use those same mercenaries against me. So, live and learn. See you next time, and as always, the next episode is going to be available early to patrons. So if you are a patron, by the time this episode is out to the public, you should be able to see the next episode. And if you're not a patron and you're watching this and you would like to see the next episode, it is already available to patrons, so check out the link to my Patreon page down in the description and send me $1 or $2 to become a patron, and you'll gain access to the next part, which might very well be the final part of this playthrough. Hopefully I can get it done before that major summer patch comes out and changes everything. We'll see. But thanks again for watching, for spending your time with me. I know there's a lot of probably much better Manor Lords players you could probably be watching, but you chose to stick around and watch me bumble my way through this game. So thanks a lot, and I will see you next time.